Okay, welcome everyone. My presentation is gonna be in English. So it's fourth edition of WarsawJS. It's cool because it remembers me the old days, 2005, when I started to build a web application with PHP. Actually, it was kind of struggle to build it. And after 3 years, I discovered JavaScript, and I didn't just try it. My first attempt with JavaScript was to build a single-page application. So at that time, I looked at JavaScript. I built the first SPA application, and I thought it's so cool that someday it's gonna be on everywhere. So when I come here for the fourth time, and people are coming to see the JavaScript talks, I think the days are coming, or maybe they are here. So right now we have JavaScript everywhere. Okay, so first question. We're gonna talk about large application routing and specifically single-page applications. So first question to you is there anyone who doesn't build a single-page application? Anyone is still old school, multi-page websites? Cool. Okay, so my name is Piotr Błaszczak. I'm JavaScript and PHP developer at Nowoczesna Firma SA. I have 7 years of experience in web developing. JavaScript, I mentioned some technologies I tried. All of them I tried at production, and I spent a lot of time to master them, but actually they all didn't quite suit my needs. And this is my recent toolkit, so AngularJS, Yeoman, and Node.js. And I think this is it. Of course, I do PHP and MySQL work. I used to use Zen Framework, Symfony 2, and right now I'm using Zen Framework 2 with Doctrine. Okay, first we're gonna tell some basics about single-page application routing, Angular, and UI router. We're gonna set up our first AngularJS and UI router application. We're gonna talk about states inheritance, some tools we have in UI router. We're gonna see how to resolve some data before we go to a certain state, before we render a page, how to get some data from server asynchronously. We're gonna see how to do named views, and it's the case where you have really complex application with a lot of views. We're gonna check what events are available and what we can do with them, and for example, how to handle 404 not found authentication. And last, we're gonna see how easy it is to use animations to animate changing of your views. Okay, single-page application. So when user goes to website, he hits the request to the server, he gets the page, but if he sees something interesting, he wants to go to another page, he's just going to another page, so everything is reloaded. And this is the multi-page application. In single page, we have one request, and then every user action is handled in the background by JavaScript. And additional data is retrieved using Ajax in the background. So it provides more fluent user experience. But we have to think what to do with search engine optimization and regular sharing the thing you see on the website with friends, so we can send somebody the link to see to let them see what you have on the page. So that's why we have to have routing. And generally speaking, routing is a module which translates URL to something which your server can understand. So we know what code executes. So here we have localhost URL, and it's probably router is gonna translate to contacts controller, edit action, and the ID parameter. It's probably gonna be 23. Okay, but in single page application we have only one URL. So before HTML5 we are using hashes. And right now we can just use HTML5 push state, which totally switch your URL in the browser without refreshing the whole page. And most of the libraries I know, they are using URL as the routing. So you attach some code to URL to root, and Angular UI router is using states. So your page is at certain state, and this state, of course, is identified by URL. Okay, is anyone who doesn't know AngularJS? Everybody knows? 2 people. Okay. So basic stuff about AngularJS, so we can quickly understand what's going on when I gonna explain the router. So in AngularJS you have controller. Controller has the scope you injected by dependency injector. So this controller, and it's injecting the scope, and this controller is associated with some kind of HTML. And as you see on the controller, you assign the name, which is AngularJS, and in a template you can access this variable. So it's a really MVC kind of framework where controller acts as a controller. Scope is your model, which is transfers data from your controller to view, which is regular HTML. Of course, if you put some functions on the scope, you can invoke them by events. Like here, ngClick is gonna say alert reply. You can define services inside your application. So here we are defining my service, and you can put it here anything you need, function, object, string, anything you want. And later in controller you just inject it like this, and you can use it. So you're gonna see a lot of services. Some are coming from AngularJS, like scope, and some are coming from UI router module. Okay, so differences between URL routing and state changes. So here's the old school where you have href, regular links, and here we have the state, UI state ref, UI sref. So we have to, it means that we have, our application can be at welcome state, item state, and item state with some parameters. Okay, this is the quick setup of your application. So it's basic. So basic tutorial about Angular, and you know everything how to start your first application. configuration, so we're gonna see a little demo about how to do basic routing. So 2 links, they are going to welcome state and contact state. Here we have the root view. So your index.html has to include at least one UI view. So this is Angular directive, and it's coming with UI router. In your application.js, in your configuration, you have to provide your states. So here we're gonna configure welcome and contact state. Then we can configure what to do when we go to URL who doesn't apply to any state. So if we hit a random URL, just go to the main page. And we wish to use the HTML5 mode. So it means we are not gonna use hashes in the URL, but we're gonna use real URLs. State configurations. So it means for welcome state, the URL is the main page, so it's the base. Load template URL to this view in your index HTML. This is it. Next state, contact. The URL is gonna be contact. Load template, this template, and use this controller. Okay, so quick demo. Later I'm gonna provide a URL to GitHub to this presentation, so you can try it by yourself. As you see, here's URL. Homepage is loaded as the first automatically. If you go to contact, the contact template is loaded in the body, and the URL changes. So this is basic setup. Okay, but it was basic functionality. Now let's try to do some more complex stuff. In our index.html, we always have the root UI view, so it's the main one. In this one, we want to load views products HTML, which has its own UI view. So this HTML has links, has menu with links, and when you click this one of those links, you just render a product template right here inside of this view. So how to configure this one is when you have product state. Yeah, this is error. It should be product. Sorry. So load this products HTML to the index page, to the root view, and then when you hit this state, just go to and load this template inside of its parent. So we know that this state is the child of this one because of the dot notation. Inheritance is by saying the name. So this is my parent, this is my name of this state, and everything what I'm defining here is gonna be rendered inside of UI view, which is placed in this template. This is the products template. So here we have the menu, which is dynamically produced by ngRepeat, and here we have UI sref. So this is how we define the links. So when you click these links, it goes to products.product state with parameter ID product ID. So if anyone is from server-side background, you use PHP or anything on a server, it's very familiar. So you don't use in your application, you don't use your URLs. You use some root name or state name, and it produces the URL for you. And the URL is strictly in a config file, so you can change it freely, and the whole application is gonna switch and use this new URL. And of course, on the end, you have to define UI view. So when you click this link, this page is gonna render right here. Okay, little demo. So home view, and if I click products, products is gonna load the template with the menu, and here's the free UI view. It's ready for clicking one of those links on menu, and those pages, templates are rendered right here. So here we can see how URL is changing. Okay, but it's still basic. For simple things, you can it's helpful, but oh, yeah. Okay, but let's talk about service state service. It comes with UI router, and it gives you some nice methods. So state go, it means we saw the previous one. We use in templates, in HTML, we use UI sref, but sometimes inside of your controller, you would like to programmatically redirect user to a different state. And here's example how to redirect to contact detail state. This means that you can relatively redirect someone, so just go to my parent. If I'm in detail state, this link would just go to contact state. And same with siblings, child and grandchild. And if your state has any params, you just pass the params as a second parameter. So this is your configuration inside state. So this is URL and this is param required for this URL. And this state will go to this URL. This is the result. UI sref directive, we've seen it in action just a minute ago. Okay, it's a little tree of states in your application. You always have the root view on the top, and you defined any states, and those states can have any child, any number of child you want. And this is the sign of the parent. So if you're in this state and you want to go one further to your parent, you just use this sign, state.go with this one. This notation means that if you are at this state and go to my child, and go to my child whose name is free, so you just travel from here to here. And more complex, so just go to my parent, my grandparent, and then go to some child. So you travel from here to this parent, to grandparent, which is root, then go to state number 2 and state number 1. So this is how you can easily travel around your application, and it's very handy when your application is very nested and has a lot of view, because here we have only 3 deep. It's only 3 level deep, but when you do big application, you can go on up to 5 to 7 times. And we have another tool very helpful for just adding classes. It's especially handy for doing menus. So here we have a link in a menu with certain state, and when I click on the state, this directive means get this class name and apply it to this element. So when I'm gonna be on this state or one of its children, this class is gonna be appended, so it's gonna be item and active. And you just mark this in CSS, you just mark this and as an active many item. So it's very easy and very quick to program. In some cases, you have to do it by yourself, so you have to use the state service, because because maybe this link is not going to the root of your features. For example, if you have user list and user list edit item state, and this link could go just to user edit. And when you go to user list, it's not going to be active, but it should be. So then you have to use just state service. Of course, you can define params in your URLs, and if you want to retrieve these params, you can do it by injecting the state params service. And for example, for this URL, for this definition of URL, you can hit this URL, and in your controller you can access state params, and it's going to be populated with ID, type, and repeat accordingly to those specified in URL. And another example with the search query params, they are also translated to state params and available for you to use inside of the application, inside of the controllers. Okay, named views. This is where the fun part begins. Okay, I'm gonna start with the demo first. Okay, the green color is your root UI view inside your index HTML, and this blue one is just main view, main state populated inside of it. So it's very simple for I don't know, for landing page, for front page, it's enough. You can just put basic stuff over here, and then you can go to other links. And for example, contact us. We'll go to next state where you load a layout inside of the root template. So you have two UI views, and those are named UI views. This is navbar UI view, and this is content UI view. And this state just populates both of them. Okay. Okay. So here we have the config of the main page. So just for this URL, he'd populate the root view with welcome page. Oh, this is Mac and it doesn't work. It goes only sideways. Okay, I got it. Okay, so we define the app state in its abstract state, and it means that you can hit it, so it doesn't have the URL configuration, but other states can inherit from it. And this state just defines on the root template, just put the layout HTML, and the layout HTML has a navbar where you should put this one. So in one place you can configure the layout where you decide what layout and what defaults should be. So next state is gonna inherit from the app state, and as you see before we are doing dot notation, so you can just specify app dot products here or just add parent app over here, and it's gonna work same way. And here we are inheriting from app state, and we have the basic layout ready for us, and we can replace some views inside of the basic layout or add another one. In this place, we're just gonna put our small layout inside, and inside this layouts, we're gonna populate 2 more views. Okay. So when we go to products,
Nice layout.
yeah, and yeah, this is my bad because I should use corals, use colors. I know the names. I probably don't know how to call them in Polish. It's green, purple, and yellow. That's it. Okay, so when we go to this state, it's a product state. It uses the big layout from app state, which has the navbar and content inside. Products in the content puts its own layout, which is menu and his own content inside, and then puts some views inside this these layouts. Okay, so we can go deeper. So watch this URL. We can go deeper, and we gonna nest this more. So at this state, product, we inherit from product state, and we just use this param to load some features of selected JavaScript framework. And okay, we can go further. So let's say I want to view this feature. I can click on it and just see more details about how fast React.js is. You can go back and for example, in this state, you can override the parent's layout. So we can go up and override even this top bar and this menu or everything over here. So if I go to edit mode, you see I'm totally override everything. I can refresh the page right now and it's gonna be at the same point. And when I click OK, it's gonna return to the same point. So it's doing pretty good job at handling things for you, and don't lose anything when you send the link to someone else or you just refresh the page. So that was the edit. It replaced the application state view, and we can even the nested state hit in the model. So it's so easy. Right now I can refresh the page and everything in the background, and the model is gonna be here like this because of the URL. It undefines directly how your application, what your state is. Okay, of course you can edit everything here. And it's live. Yeah. You can edit here, but without the wow effect. Yeah, this is the magic. Okay, control. Yes, I understand Mac. So let's see about the configuration. Here's the resolves. I'm going to explain it in the next slide, but resolve simply tells I want these products to be available for my controller as a service, but you can return. I'm returning here just a simple array, but you can return the promise which comes from HTTP request, and the application is going to wait before this request finishes and just gives you the data. So inside of controller, you are sure you have data. You need to render everything. Okay, so we right here we have child of products, which is product state, and yeah, as you see, the URL products is product./2, and this is this part, the last one, and the beginning of the URL is from the it's from the parent. You can put here the up arrow sign, so you can identify this URL from the root. So skip the parent's URLs and just go to your own path. Okay, here we have the views configuration, and this is the tricky part for nested and named views. So it simply means inside the template there is UI view with the name of content, and look for this one and look for it in the product state template. So it's my parent, so I'm going to my parent and look for the content and put there wherever I want. So I can easily overwrite everything on my parents and replace everything. And when I just hit back on the history, everything is gonna be back on where it was. And it's very important that if I switch here between those states, only this part is touched, is rendered. Everything here, and the parents are just staying there. They are not re-rendered, and you just affect this part of the application. So it's very fast and it works very quick. Okay, this code is going to be available for you, so you can just inspect this one. Here's one worth mentioning. When you define the views, you can define it just put the model, for example, and it's going to look for this named view inside your parent. And if it's not going to find it, it's not going to do anything. But when you put this @ sign, it means go to the root. So after here you put the view name, and after the @ sign you put the state name. So for example, I could put here products or product, because right now I'm in feature view. So you can travel all the way up in the hierarchy and replace wherever you want. And right here, we are replacing the model view inside the root template with the model layout. And inside this model layout, we are putting this view. So you can have multiple childs, and each of them can render as a model, and each of them can choose different layout or different content to render inside. And all of them, of course, have access to the parents' resolves and datas. And I'm gonna talk about it right now. Okay, here we have controllers. So this is the example of how to use state params. So this is the feature controller, and the state params has a ID identifying the product ID. So you just, here is the code which find the products with this ID, and just populate the feature, the scope with the feature of this product, so we can have details about this. Okay, resolves. This is the example how to get some data from the server asynchronously before you render the state and render everything. So you just put resolve, the name of the resolve. Right here we are using HTTP to get back the user profile from the server, and these results are gonna be available for you just here in the controller. And if this gonna fail, this is not gonna render, but the error event is gonna be fired, and we're gonna look at the events and see what we can do when something is going wrong. I personally use this also for authenticating a user. So right here I can just hit for the user. If he's not logged in, he doesn't have the session, I just show the login dialog and just return the promise from here. and so the user can have easy option to just log in, and the application is gonna start from this point. It's just gonna pause, wait for you to log in, and just continue with rendering this state and its childs. And of course, this user service is available for all child states. So it's, of course, you can overwrite it later, but you can freely use it. Data. You can also attach any data to each state. At this point, I'm using access control list. So I'd like to say that for products, for this state, I want the user to have the admin rights. So he has to be an administrative of this website. And here we have how to listen for state events. Right here, state change start. It's fired before this state is rendered. Right here, we can inspect the two-state data ACL property, check if the user is logged in, and if he is, check if he is administrator. If not, we're gonna stop the application and show error message. I'm gonna show it in the next slide how to exactly do this. Okay, available events. So we can hit the state change success. So when the transition is going to success, state change start. So it's before it renders. This one is after it renders. State not found. It's when you try to go to state which doesn't exist. Right now you can load the state dynamically or just show a not found page. State change error, it occurs when the resolves promises just are rejected. So for example, the internet connection is lost, and when, for example, the state manager can't load the view. And you have to use the root scope service and just listen for the event. Simple authentication, so it continues with the data slide. So right here we are listening for the change start event. If to state, it means the state we are trying to get to, data ACL is defined, and some user service says it's not allowed, it doesn't have this access. So event prevent default and state go login, and your application is stopped and redirects to different state. Okay, animations. Animations with UI router are as easy as any animation inside Angular. You have to just use the ng animate. And it works beautiful. And one thing I'm also using is animate CSS. I don't know if you know this library, but it's really amazing. You just you have the one CSS file. You just select the animation keyframes, and everything is just ready for you. You don't have, be master of the keyframes, CSS keyframes or animation. You just use it. And I can tell you it's very easy to integrate with AngularJS. When you have any UI view, so this is the container where states are gonna be rendered, you just have to apply some class. This is gonna be view change animation class, and you define this one inside of your CSS files, and this is it, what you need to animate transitions. And if you want to see how it works, it's here. So this is Angular, this is React, this is Ember. And yeah, That's all you need. And this is all the code you need to write to enable the animation inside of UI router. Not everything. Of course, you have to include ng-animate because it's a separate library. It's maintained by Angular core team. And write this code, add this class to your UI views, and rock and roll. Second demo. Ooh. No. This is external one, so I'm gonna try why it's not working. This one? Yes. So that before was this demo, but just working. This is animation, and that was working. So here's how you can animate all the nested views. So we've seen all those views of the top bar, left menu, layouts inside layouts. So here's a very good example. And on the presentation, there are links, so we can just go to this link. It's a great article about how to combine animations with UI router and named views. And you can achieve very pretty results, very quick, just doing few classes. Okay, so this is it. I think that UI router for me was a blast, and right now I'm doing really complex layouts and views inside single-page applications, and because of the easy of overriding templates in parents and the easy defining and combining states, easy transition between states, generating URLs to certain states, I think it really helps to build very quick and easy, very large applications. Okay, so if you have any question, you can just write me email. This is my. You write me email, you can be sure I can get it. I have also Twitter, but I don't use it. I used to write crawler for Twitter, and I need an account there. Of course, you can go to my GitHub page, and this presentation is gonna be there in few hours because I didn't push it to the master branch. Also, I'm on Facebook, so here's my link on Facebook. Facebook I use mainly for entertainment and my hobbies, which is slacklining. And slacklining, if you don't know what it is, this is slacklining. So if you are going to be bored with just coding and sitting in place, I invite you to spend some free time on high-edge entertainment. This photo is from Lublin, from Urban Highline Festival. And each year we have great fun over there. Of course, we have a lot of members in Warsaw, so if you want to try to do something cool and exciting, just write me an email or just let's go down and drink some beer. Questions, comments? Go ahead.
Thank you. Do we have any?
Mogę przetłumaczyć.
Więc tak, też korzystam z tego Yeomana. Sobie tam ściągnąłem, tam jest na taki angularowy szkielet, właśnie ten taki najpopularniejszy. I tam jest trochę jakby inaczej są te przekierowania robione. Jest ng, href bodajże. Tutaj podawałeś jakiś inny, to jest chyba inna dyrektywa i cały jakiś taki moduł do przechodzenia po tych stronach. Mógłbyś powiedzieć, czy jest jakaś różnica? Czy są jakieś dwie odmiany tego, czy...
Yes, I should mention it in my presentation. I totally forgot. The question, what I showed, it doesn't suit the things you see in official Yeoman generator for Angular, and it's because it's different module. The team of Angular, they are doing ng route, and it's routing, and it's based on URLs. And this is different project, and it's called UI router. So you can go with the basic stuff. So actually, yeah, it's very basic. So with the UI route, I don't know, you can do, you know, one page with few.
Okay, but what about będę mówił po polsku. Jak jest z kompatybilnością tych dwóch rozwiązań? Czy ona jest
they doesn't work together. It means you choose one or the.
Chodzi mi o przeglądarki, czy oba te rozwiązania są.
Yeah, we are using UI router on production sites for, I don't know, 7 months, maybe more, and we didn't, you know, get any problems, and nobody complains about us that something doesn't work. And so as Angular, everything works pretty good at all major browsers. So I don't see, I'm not afraid of using it. So go ahead, try it.
I got a question about the router. Is it simple to write applications, not application full page applications, but modules that are suited to just be part of some other website, some other tooling, and for example, is it easy to write some kind of module like Google Maps with it?
You mean, actually it's a router, so it handles the whole URL. So you want
I want namespace, for example, to namespace my fragment of code with some kind of name.
Yes, so probably you have to use just the regular Angular modules. So you define, it's on the one of the first slides. You just define your module, and you put all code to your module. So it's not just a second. Setup. Yeah, here. Right here, I'm defining my app, and it's just regular Angular module. So here you see my app is using UI router module. So if you want to use my app, so you just put your app here and use this name in this place. So you include my app, my module to your application. So yes, with Angular it's very easy to do some modules and just publish them, and anybody can just try it and include in their projects. But I don't know what about routing.
I got a question about that. Is it easy to, for example, you write my app, and my app is some kind of widget, and I want to put this widget multiple times on the website. For example, it's a small widget, and inside that widget I got a navigation with UI writer. Is it easy to write the code so that number of instances of the same module do not interfere with one another?
Actually, my app is just namespace, so it just handles your directive services and other stuff. What you are saying, for example, if you want to put some component, it's probably gonna be directive, and it's gonna have its own name, and this is gonna be packed with my app. But when you include my app in your, so we can use my directive in your app just like that. Of course, namespace is only for packaging. If I have the same name, the same directive with the same name, I think they're gonna be override, and it's not gonna work very good. So just that's why they Angular team recommends to use prefixes. So ng, you can always expect it's gonna be the core functionality, and you should always pick some prefix and use, if you're writing module, for example, if you see UI router, everything is prefixed with UI, and then it goes with some functionality from this module, from UI module. So yeah, I think it's easy. I wouldn't be afraid of just packing everything in modules. Just there are best practices like this to keep code not, go on each other.
Okay, one last question.
So quick question. I have a problem with Angular and UI routing that, for example, you have a state where you have a list with endless scrolling and you go to some other state and go back. And do you have a solution to go back to the end of this list where the endless scroll goes?
It means that at some point your view is very extensive. I got a similar problem with the maps. So if you put map on one of the states, the map is gonna render quite heavily. So it's not so easy to render it, turn it off, destroy, and render it again very quickly. So your app is gonna be very responsive. So yeah. I think this is the same problem. So you have a big list and it's scrolled and you go out from the state and go back and it's rendered back from the scratch. So you have to, yeah. One solution is there is a library UI router extras and they are using its sticky state. It means that if you render some state and you go out and destroy it, it's actually not destroyed, it's just hidden. And you can quickly go back and it's not rendered again, it just shows. For me it's perfect when I'm using the app with the map and the map is always on the background. First time I want to show it, it's rendered, and next time it's just hidden and showed, so it's perfect solution. I think it's quite accurate answer to this one. Other solution could be to just use in this directive, in this list, just use some kind of, you can store in local storage or in cookies the position of the scroll, and we go back, you just scroll back to this position. But I would stick with the first idea. It's quite good. So UI router extras, it's a solution for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, for more questions, I encourage you all to catch Piotr at the bar, so you will have more time there. And for now, thank you very much.
Thank you.